Welcome students. In our earlier video we talked about the credit rating. So here, as far as our discussion concerned, credit rating is a financial services. It is a financial service which assess the credit worthiness of a person and estimate the future ability of a person to repay the debts or the financial commitments. So here we talked about the credit rating, and in continuation with the credit rating, so let us go somewhat deeper in this video. So here we mainly credit rating is what do you mean by credit rating we talked about. So let us discuss. So credit rating is done for whom? So here credit rating is done for. So first of all, credit rating is done for individuals, and next one companies, next one instruments, next one even countries. So here let us talk about the individuals. So here the credit rating is done for the individuals. So here means here the credit rating agency assess the credit worthiness of an individual. So and they estimate the future ability to make a to repay its debts or financial commitments. So in that regards, here we need to understand one thing. If the credit rating is done for individuals, so in general, suppose you are an employee, you are working in some organization. In that regard, suppose you may take personal loan from the bank. So now your credit transactions are started by taking the loan from the bank. Regularly you are paying equated monthly installments, means in general we are calling as EMIs. In short we call it as EMIs. So you take the loan from the bank and you started making payments of the EMIs. So now the bank is recording how much amount of money you have taken from the bank as a in the form of loan, and how you are making payments. So how you are paying EMIs. So while you are paying EMIs, how quick you are. So within the due date, are you paying EMIs or not? How many times you crossed the due date? How many times you faced the penalties because of not payment of the installments in time. So so all these things are being recorded and forwarded to one organization in our country. That is what we are calling as CIBIL. CIBIL means Credit Information Bureau of India Limited. So it is a credit bureau of our country. So here it is an organization which records the credit history of the individuals. So here the banks and financial institutions who are extending credit to the individuals, so are collecting the data and providing the data to the CIBIL about their customers' credit history. So based upon the data which is collected from the various banks and financial institution, so the CIBIL is the CIBIL is tracking the credit history, so and assign the score to the each individual. This is what we are calling as credit score. What we are calling as credit score. So here the person the credit score is given to the individuals. So here in India the credit score is given to the individuals by the CIBIL. So that's why it is what we generally call it as CIBIL score. So that's why CIBIL score is the major parameter to get the loan from the banks and other financial institution. Suppose for example, for instance, suppose if you want to buy a bike, so from the financing company. So okay, suppose you approach the finance company to buy the bike, so on the installment basis. So okay, then they will ask your Aadhaar number, Aadhaar and PAN number, Aadhaar or PAN, whatever it might be. So okay, if they enter your Aadhaar number or PAN number in the CIBIL, they will check your CIBIL score. Suppose if you have a credit history, so okay, definitely you have a CIBIL score. If your CIBIL score is good, so okay, you are eligible to get a you are eligible to buy the bike on the installment basis from the finance companies. Not only finance companies, financial institutions, banks. Suppose if you want to get a loan from the bank check your CIBIL score. If your CIBIL score is good, so you may have a chances to get the loan easily. Suppose if your CIBIL score is not good, so okay, the taking loan from the bank might be difficult. So that's why in the today's scenario, to get the finance from the institutions or banks, CIBIL score is the major parameter for an individuals. So okay, it is being given by the CIBIL, Credit Information Bureau of India Limited. So how the CIBIL is getting giving score to the individuals means by the getting information and data from the various banks and financial institutions, so okay, from which the customers are taking the credit. So okay, here this is the credit score. So now let us come to the credit rating. So okay, here the credit rating is done for individuals, as we talked about. If the credit rating is done for individuals, that is called as credit score. If it is done for companies, instruments and countries, we should call it as credit rating. So okay, this is the difference between the credit score and credit rating. So credit score is nothing but a credit rating, but when we call it as a credit score means, so okay, if you assess the credit worthiness of a individuals is called as credit score. So normally credit score is given by the credit bureau of that country. In our country, CIBIL is giving the credit score, so that's why we call it as a CIBIL score simply. So okay, this is what about the credit score. So okay, here how now we have talked about what is credit score and how it is different from the credit rating. So now let us discuss what is credit score means. Credit score is nothing but it is a score which is given by the credit bureau of the country to the individuals. So okay, again I am stressing it. So okay, if the credit assessment is done, if the credit worthiness of if you are assessing credit worthiness of an individual, that is what we are calling as a credit score. So okay, if the assessment of credit worthiness is done for companies or instruments or countries, that is what we are technically called as a credit rating. That is the difference between credit rating and credit score. Simply, if the credit rating is done for individuals, that is what we are calling a credit score. It is done by the CIBIL, so that's why we normally call it as CIBIL score. So okay, when your CIBIL score is good, when your CIBIL score is bad. Suppose if you take the loan from the bank, simply you are escaping. You are always you are always delay in making payments. You are always delay in making payments to the bank. So ultimately you will lose your credit score. Your CIBIL score will be lower. In the same way, suppose if you are the credit card holder, so okay, use the credit card. So okay, in which way you want to use? So okay, you are using credit card heavily, but you are not making credit card installments in time. So definitely the data will be updated with the CIBIL by your bank. So definitely you will get a negative impact on that on your CIBIL score. In the same way, suppose you are taking personal loan, but you are not paying EMIs in time. So you are delaying payment of EMIs and you are getting penalties. So all these things will give ultimately negative impact on your CIBIL score. Your CIBIL score will be reduced. So okay, if your CIBIL score is below the certain standard limit, so okay, furtherly you can't get any credit from any bank or from any financial institution. It will be a huge problem to you to get the credit. So as an individual, so that's why it's better to maintain proper CIBIL score. To maintain the proper CIBIL score, so we should make a payments in time to the banks while we are taking credit from them. So this is the there should not be a delay in the making payments, paying EMIs, paying installments. So especially the credit card holders, be careful in this regard. So anyway, this is what about the credit score. This is what about the credit score and credit rating. Simply, if the credit rating process is done for individuals, this is credit score. We call it as credit score. If the credit rating is done for companies, instruments and countries, we can technically call it as credit rating. This is what about the credit score and credit rating. Hope you all understood. Thank you very much.